waiting. There's another person in the waiting room. Hey guys, hey, welcome to the room. Welcome to the room. Look here. Thank you guys for coming in. So for all of you guys that are new, my name is Raquel May David, and my co-host is Mr. David Sanchez. We have our amazing moderator, JM. So as everyone loads in, it's going to be a little bit different tonight because I am in Nashville. So I'm in the business center. So I'm working off of one screen. So normally I'll be able to open up the chat and engage a little bit more. So I'm going to rely heavily on the team, of course. And then I am going to circle back around when we get to the Q&A section. For anyone who is coming in that has a question, you can raise your hand. We're starting in about 5 minutes. We want to make sure that everyone gets into the room. For those of you guys who are new, I am your host. My name is Raquel May David. My co-host is Sanchez. And again, our moderator is JM. If you have questions and comments in the chat, please drop them. They will be monitoring, and I will circle back around during the Q&A session to answer any questions that might be there. Welcome back, James. I hope you were able to catch the video from yesterday, from Monday. If not, we're going to have a couple of Q&A sessions here. But again, I am in Nashville. We're working off of one screen, so please forgive how things might be a little bit different this week compared to normal, right? I like to start off at the top with talking about the community. JM or David, if one of you guys can drop the link for the Dispute Panda community. I have people come in the room all the time and they want to ask me, hey, where's our Facebook? We don't have one, but we have our own community where we can make sure that everything that is monitored, everything that needs to be there is there to go ahead and support you guys to be a what? For those of y'all that are returning, my tag is to be a beast in the credit streets. For those of you that are new, that's the goal here. We want to give you guys the tools to be exceptional at what you do, answer questions about the platform, and kind of get started. So we're going to give everyone about 4 more minutes. If you guys are, I just want to tell you that today we're going to be doing onboarding every Monday and Wednesday. We cover onboarding for Dispute Panda. We go over what the software entails, benefits and perks of the free software, the pro version, as well as ways that you can do credit repair for the free $99. Now, moving around a lot because the room that I'm in is motion censored. So hopefully I don't distract everyone. So please forgive me if I do. If you guys have any questions, we're gonna open the room for about 3 minutes since we're waiting for people to come in. So you can ask any general questions before we deep sea dive. We're gonna start at the homepage for Dispute Panda, which is right here. So for all of you guys that are new, I want you guys to have space and room. So any questions? We got 3 minutes before we get started. Love the cameras being on. Hey, y'all.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So I've been on here before, but I kept missing all the other nights, and I finally caught this one. I already signed up with Dispute Panda, but I have not logged in the client information.
Okay.
So I've frozen all the public records, and so I'm trying to figure out like what's next. Like if once I log in, say for I import out their credit report, like all the stuff that's on their credit, and I import it into Dispute Panda. Mm-hmm. Do the letters that need to be mailed off, will it show up and to where I have to print them, or do I need to go and look for it? I guess I think that's what I'm trying to ask. I'm not really sure if I'm asking a question right.
So are you trying to ask, how do you start the dispute process once the client is in the software?
Right.
Yeah. So we're going to go through that today. So today with the onboarding, we will actually start with the homepage, going over the high level stuff of the software. We're going to sign up. So you are already past the sign up phase. So you're going to kind of like hang tight there. Once we sign up for the platform, we're going to load a test client in. If you have a client and you're by your computer, you can load the client in while we're doing it. And then we're going to go through how you would go through the dispute process together. On this call, there are some new dispute flows that have dropped that include the secondary bureaus. So we are going to cover that new flow as well. So you're in the right room. We're going to go through how you get the letters, how do you pick a flow, and we're going to cover all of that in this class. So it's normally transparency. My goal is to have you in and out. I'm trying to do an hour, but with Q&A, especially with the new things rolling out, we're hitting about sometimes 2.5 hours.
Okay, and another thing, I have been seeing where a lot of people have been saying that this right now is the perfect time to remove anything off your credit. Is that true?
I can't really answer that question, because when you're saying remove anything, what do they mean when they're using that? Because that's a very broad statement. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So they were saying that where they
say so I'm gonna
impose what?
I can read it to you. Give me a second. It says all 3 credit bureaus are under fire for reporting inaccuracy, obsolete information. Take advantage. This is a great time of year to remove collections, inquiries, liens, student loans, bankruptcy, and late payments. Doesn't matter if you owe.
So again, that's a very broad, neutral statement. So I'm going to tell you factual that 1 in 4 people have errors and outdated information and inaccuracies on their credit report. Realistically, any time is a good time to dispute those items that are on file. You don't necessarily have to wait. This software being Metro 2 coding, and the fact that you have the ability to have factual as well, it gives you the ability to leverage the law on your side for your client, right? I'm going to be transparent. If the debt can be verified, if the creditor that you owe the debt to, so let's say I'm Raquel and I'm your client, right? I'm your client, load my stuff in there, and I owe this debt, but the person who owns the debt cannot verify that they own the debt. With the letters that are generated in the software, you have the ability to leverage those to get those errors removed. The thing is that that's to me, that's a misleading statement, because even if you owe the debt, if they validate the debt, then you owe it. Now, if you owe it, but they can't validate the debt, that doesn't mean that you still don't owe it. That just means legally it can't be on the credit report. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't want to, in this room, I'm very careful to say, we don't do blanket statements to say, oh, this is going to be able to get everything off, even if you owe it. The goal is that we're using the law to make sure that the information is accurate and verifiable that's on your client's report. If it cannot be validated and verified, therefore it has to be removed per the law. It ain't with us. The government said that you have to follow protocols, and we as a company and as an institution, we are going to hold you to those requirements to do so. So anytime could be great. I do want to be transparent that during the pandemic, because a lot of businesses were closed, a lot of people weren't there, that was a really good time to get a lot of things off, because they weren't able to verify and validate a lot of the debt. Since that time has passed, now you're wanting to leverage more of the laws to your benefit. So I hope that answered the question. Was that good, Ms. Holmes?
Yeah, I understand. I just know it's like under fire. So I'm like, what does that mean? Is it just gonna fall right off with no issues?
It's not always gonna fall off. But here's the facts. The facts is every year the credit bureau is normally they normally have a breach, just like a lot of other companies, right? There's a lot of companies that end up having a breach. And what that means is that their safety with your information can be affected, which means someone could have your social, your date of birth, where you live, all of those things, right? So realistically, any given time, and there was a breach this year twice already at the credit bureau. So that's a good way to leverage, like, hey, I want to make sure this information is accurate. I want you to prove to me that you were able to verify that this debt really does belong to me and that I have not been put out there, right? But because of that statement is so vague, it can be misleading, and it is caused to make you go, oh, well, everything's going to drop off, I think. You think they didn't say that, right? So now it leaves you open your own interpretation of their marketing tactic, basically.
Okay.
But yeah, girl, do what you got. We're going to teach you how to do the system and how you be able to navigate. So hang tight. I'm going to actually get started now. So hang tight. We're going to go through, once we get to the client loading portion, I'm going to show you before we get there how to get to the guides. And we're going to talk about the new flow that's in here. So we are about to get started now. So welcome to the new people in the room. Thank you guys who are able to show your faces. I made an announcement at the top. I want to reiterate, I am in Nashville, Tennessee at CardCon. So I'm in a hotel and I was like, let me just go to the business suite. So you might see me moving around a lot. If it gets too distracting, let me know. I'll turn my camera off. I'm in a motion censored room. So I noticed when I sat down, the lights went out and I was like, ooh, they need to see me. But I do have a photo. So if you want me, if it gets a little bit too distracting with me moving, just let me know. I'll turn my monitor off and that way you guys can focus on the screen. Because I'm working off of my laptop, I forgot my cord in my other bag. So I'm not doing dual screen. So the chat, you guys can put your questions in there. JM and David are going to be a beast for me, making sure that those questions are answered. And then during the Q&A section, I will dive in a little further if you guys want more questions at any, want more in-depth answers. If at any time you guys have a question, please feel free to go ahead and raise your hand. That way I can know to pause and allow space for that conversation. So with that being said, welcome. I started out with the community. So I wanted to reiterate for those that just came to the room, if you have not yet signed up for the Dispute Panda community, please go ahead and do so. You are going to find like-minded people who are using the platform, who have questions, whether they are new in business or seasoned, that you will be able to have a safe space to have a real heart-to-heart conversation. Of course, JM is always in there modding that room. That's why he has so many numbers over there. Okay, your girl got like 20. Don't worry about that. Okay, don't worry about that. But we are going to go ahead and get started. So in the chat, we've dropped the community. If you can, go ahead and open up in another browser. For those of you guys are on your computer, for those of you guys on your phone, still try to open it up so that you guys can register for it, because I want to make sure that you have a support system if we are not here Monday and Wednesday. For the pro people, we meet on Thursdays with Dominique Brown exclusively as a group. But those are the days that you actually get a live body in the room. So if you have questions, we're going to show you multiple ways to get support, and the community is one of them. Okay. So I like to start at the beginning. Okay. And I like to talk pricing. So Dispute Panda is a little bit different in comparison to other credit softwares. So a lot of other softwares, you have to pay for the actual software itself. Dispute Panda said, no, we're going to give everyone and give on the free option, the platform for free. So you can actually have the platform, house your clients, and be able to support them for free on the Dispute Panda software. Now, if you decide to use that software gives you the ability to load your clients in. You are also able to load their IDs in. You're also able to generate rounds of attack. Now, whether you are on the free version or the pro version, you have to pay $17 per attack. As we go, I'm going to tell you guys how you are able to do a round of attack where it is $0.00 for you as the business owner or the family member that's trying to get everyone's finances together, right? The pro version, the difference between that and the free is that with the pro, you have the ability to have a communication portal with your clients. So you're able to turn on a safe access portal. With that safe access portal, you're able to go ahead and have email conversations, have subscriptions, plans, and a little bit more extra perks that I'm going to show you once we get into the software. The pro version is $1 for 14 days and then $197 thereafter. You can also do the pro for a year. And if you pay for the year, it's $1,970. We want to make sure that you have options to, again, win as you are helping your clients with credit, okay? I'm going to go back to the top. So the pro calculator and integration are all features that are under the pro, and I'm going to dive into it a little bit more when we get into the actual software. One of the things that I want to touch on before we go into the software is the training and the contact tab. So when you get this software, you can literally learn how to dispute on your own. The first thing that I like to point out to everyone is the Dispute Panda attack guide. The reason why I like to point this out is because if you are new, you don't know what to do, there is a flow that is automatically gifted to you on how should you attack your client's profile. You do not have to second guess. You don't have to wonder. You have a set of attacks that are set up to help you start disputing credit right away without any delays, as long as you pick a flow. That's my wrap for y'all, okay? So when you go to the training tab at the very top, and I'm going to go back over to it. At the very top, it says training. It says a free download. This will allow you to download the full guide. Now the guide is being updated and I'm going to show you guys the new flow that we just came out with. But a lot of times people come in and they go, well, what flow do you want to use? You can use any of them. I'm going to tell you the flows that I have always used with either the blue attack for efficiency. Sorry about the delay, guys. The blue attack for efficiency or the red attack for effectiveness. The difference between the two, how I have processed it, is that if I have a client that is pressed for time, wants massive impact, and doesn't have necessarily the patience of sitting for a whole 12 months, although you do have a full 12 months of attacks that are listed in this guide, I will try to go to the effective versus the efficient. If I have someone that's coming to me with a strategic plan, I want to buy a house in 8 to 12 months. I want to buy a car within 8 to 12 months. Then I'm going to choose the blue round for a little bit more efficiency. Now, with that being said, Joel, there are new flows that have come out. Hang on one second. And I'm going to pull one up right now. If it works for me, hold on. And JM, if you can drop the flow in the chat, it would be greatly appreciated. So if you guys, I want to show you guys the difference between the old flows that were there and the new flows that are out. So the old flow that we had, hang on one second, let me move this out the way. The old flow that we had, everything, there are 2 things that had to be certified. Everything else went out first class mail. There was a specific as to which letters could be single letters and which one could be double-sided. Now the system tells you the frequency of when you want to send out the rounds. So the goal is to get the letters out every 35 days. So day 1, if you're doing the red attack, you're doing the pinwheel super boosted. And then at day 36, you're coming back and you're doing the round kick premium, right? So the flows here, the very first letter was going to be was going to be certified. The next letter was going to be first class for the next few rounds, and then you go back to certified. Well, with the new flow that we have, nothing has to be certified. If you choose to go ahead and make that item or send that letter off certified, you are fine. But it's not required in order to be successful with getting the support you need from clients, okay? Also, this new flow teaches you how to dispute and when you should be contacting the secondary bureaus on behalf of your client, and at what point do you move on if you choose to do a CFPB complaint for your client, okay? But all of the information is accessible, and this new flow will actually be on the website. It'll be loaded in the website for us to download by the end of the week. But I wanted to make sure that it was in the chat so you guys have access to it, since it is not yet on file, okay? So when you're saying, how do I start? Where do I start? Once we get into the system, you'll be able to see where you go to dispute, but how you start is you pick a flow. You can choose the new flow that is now in the chat, or you can elect to use one of the old school flows that are already accessible for you to leverage, that you find at the top of the training module. When you scroll down on the training module, you have information, complete dive in on how to use Dispute Panda, how to buy credits in order to pull rounds for your clients, and again, what all of the tabs mean within the system. All right. Any questions so far on what I've covered? No. Hey, Kayla. I have a Kayla at home. Hey, Kayla. Lovely to see you today. All right. So then the next option that I want to talk about is the contact tab. The contact tab is very important to me because it gives you the ability to go ahead and actually, if you have a question, and I love this because if you have a question about a specific client, it gives you the ability to put the client's information in there, and basically have a clear conversation with the back office team to say, hey, I'm dealing with Sandra Gordon, and when I go to Sandra Gordon, this document isn't loading, the rounds aren't going, my subscription is not going to her, I'm having a problem with a contract. With Dispute Panda, the team is actually there 24/7. So you can actually either email them directly at info@Dispute Panda, or you can click the contact tab in your actual portal to go ahead and actually send a message to them. If you have a general question like, hey, I want to be a part of your beta testing, or I have a TV show that I'm going to make, is there any way we can do a partnership, right? You have the ability to go ahead and send those specific questions, and the team will get back to you in real time. One of the things that I like to talk about is when you guys are reaching out to customer service, if you guys can leverage a tool called Loom, Loom. Loom allows you to do a free 5-minute video. So if you have a question or concern about a client or something that you are physically looking at, you can officially do a video and send it to the team, so the team is fully aware of, oh, this is the information that's missing from this client, and they can see it. Because sometimes when you type, the information may not be as seamless as you hope it to be, but if you send the video and you clearly show them, like, this is where the gap is, it does allow the back office to have a better opportunity to resolve your issue, like, one and done, okay? So loom.com is a recommendation. It is a free 99 option. You do not have to pay to play over there, honey. So if you want to go ahead and leverage that, you can, if you do have any questions or concerns on any client platform, okay? So now we're gonna dive into actually creating a profile. So before I get started, I'm gonna stop sharing real quick. Hold on. We're gonna turn back on this camera because you know when you share and you try to talk, it likes to be crazy. With the show of dropping pandas in the chat, how many people already have Dispute Panda? Has already registered their Dispute Panda and is ready to go. If you could drop some pandas in the chat or an emoji in the chat, that'd be greatly appreciated. Let me see. Is James still here? I just opened the chat. Okay. It looks like James dropped off. Okay. I have a question. What should my next step be if I received a letter stating that they did not believe I was an actual person who sent the first round of disputes? Okay, Edgar, in the software, and I'm going to show it, there is a letter called stall letter. In that, that's under the static. So static is a version, and I guess I can dive in a little bit more, but when you go into your rounds of attack, Edgar, there is a stall letter. You would select the stall letter, put the date in there, and then resend the round of letters that you originally sent so that you can force them to go ahead and actually continue to dispute. Great question. But you want to go ahead and use the stall letter located in static, and we're going to cover that for you in a moment. JM got that question. This is more about all right. So it looks like I covered all the questions so far. So we're going to go back into the sign up portion. I'm going to close out the chat, guys. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Let me click share screen. All right, all right. All right. So when you're signing up, you want to remember that the information that you're leveraging in here is going to be information that you are going to use to log in. Now, with the software, if you're going to use yourself as a client, which I always recommend, you want to make sure that you are using 2 separate emails because the system will not allow you to use the same email. So with that being said, if for instance, I'm signing up as the user of this, the owner of the software, I'm going to use mayraquel@gmail.com or whatever my business email is, if I have a business email. And then when I put myself in as a person, I would use a completely different email address. Okay, so hold on a second. And then you want to put in your phone number into the system. And if you are doing this as a business, you have the ability to go ahead and put your business name onto the platform. If you are not doing this as a business, you can leave it blank. That is not going to stop you from being able to add it in later. I will be able to show you where you're able to add it in once you get into the, okay, hold on, Stormy 223. All right, and then you're going to create your password. Okay, I like to sign up to email notifications and all of the things. I like to be in the know and want to know if there's promos and different things that are coming out. So I personally sign up for them. You do not have to. It is optional for you to do that. Once you go ahead and select sign up, it will open another page that there will be a service agreement as to what to expect from Dispute Panda and what Dispute Panda expects from you as an operator within their software. You have the ability to review that. I always recommend, I personally am not going to read it because I have a live account. This is a testing one, but I always say you can choose to look at it now and then come back at later. But this is something that you want to know how the system is going to be doing business for you. there will be a verification email. I'm not going to select it right now. It will not stop you from doing anything, but I do advise that within the next 24 to 48 hours, you're able to go ahead and verify your email so that the system does not kind of kick you out, okay? I'm gonna cover the dashboard, and this is a main feature when you come online and you log in. This information here for the birthdays are only for pro users. So what it does is it will tell you your client's information, if there's any missing documents, and if you are a pro user, it will have the birthdays right there for you to see if that client's birthday month is today or in this month. You'll be able to have access to that information, okay? On the main dashboard, if you choose that you want to upgrade to the pro option, you can simply click here and you have the ability to upgrade to the pro. Some of the features with the pros, you have access to a client portal, you have payment forms, you get Zapier integration, one-click imports, and shareable reports, as well as other benefits that are accessible for you once you upgrade to the pro option. Again, this is not something that you have to do. That is just something that is optional. Everyone that's in the pro also gets enrolled into the credit repair blueprint process, which is a class that's hosted by Dominique Brown, where you go through the art of capturing customers, nurturing those customers, and what you need to do to have a successful credit repair business if you're electing to do this as a business. One of the things that they also have is Credit Dyno. Credit Dyno is a little bit unique when it comes to credit monitoring. Everyone knows about the smart credit, the identity IQ, and the privacy guard, but Credit Dyno is integratable with the Dispute Panda. So every client you have that's enrolled in the Credit Dyno software, the AI technology is capturing all of the things that have been deleted, anything that has been updated, and they're tracking what has been working so that they can curate new attack flows with better impact for your clients as you're working in the platform. So if you do not have a Credit Dyno affiliate link, this is a great way to make passive income in a real way, to go ahead and say, hey, I think that, it's the beginning of the month, Christmas is coming. I know y'all are gonna want those credit cards. Go ahead and click on this link and find out what's going on with your credit. If you have questions or you need something, book a free consultation with me, right? You can leverage that way and be able to get passive income off of the affiliate sign up. Now, the reason why I personally switched over to Credit Dyno from other sites that I was a part of is because of the fact that Credit Dyno allows you to see the full 7-year report for your client. Wherein Smart Credit, Identity IQ, Privacy Guard, My Free Score IQ, all of them only show you the credit report for the last 2 years. So there's gaps in the information when you're looking at that report, when you're speaking to the client in real time. So you would have to wait until you finish your first round of disputes to then double back once the responses come in and actually see the full 7-year profile. With Credit Dyno, you get the full 7-year profile automatically once your client signs up. And of course, you can make up to $22 in commission off of your affiliate link there. The standard is $8 a month. There are options for you to make more. So I wanted to point that out. All right, with that being said, any questions before we go down the side panel of what's here, what it applies, and how we can do? Because then after we go through that, we're going to jump into loading the first client. So any questions, anyone, from what we've covered so far? Nope. All right, all right. Welcome, Mr. Corey. Thank you for coming in. Thank you guys for being here. I'm so excited to be able to help and support. Okay, so we're gonna get started right now at the top. So if you want to find your clients, there are 2 ways for you to find them: up here at the search bar or over here at the side. If you are searching for your client here, you are required to enter at least 3 characters in order for your client to be pulled up. So once you are here, If you need to get a client, you would come into the software and actually type their name here, or you would click here on the clients tab and you will see a full list of your clients. You can see active clients and inactive clients. If you are doing this as a business and you are leaving a different software, you already have a wheelhouse of clients, you can import a CSV file with your client. If you are having a hard time, you can send that CSV file over to info@Dispute Panda, and they can import those clients for you as well. If you want to add a new client, this is where you would go to add the client in the software, is in the client tab. So we're going to come back here in a few moments so that we can go ahead and load our test client in. For those of you who are looking to work on yourselves, you will have the ability to load yourselves in tonight and actually complete your first round of attack. Okay. The letters tab basically tells you all the letters that have gone out for your client, the date and time that the attack was generated. If you are using the system to generate the letters and mail it out for you, you have the ability to do so. There are guidelines within the system that says you have to, they are only open Monday through Friday. If you are completing this task, you have to do it before 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If it's after 12, it's going to go out the next day, the next business day. Also, certified mail does receive a tracking code for your file. With that tracking code, you can actually click on it. It will be located here. Let me close this out. It will be located here that you'll be able to see the tracking number, and it will be located in the client's file. You can simply click on the tracking number and see where it stands. You don't need to go to USPS to see it. That information is linked, that their site is linked here. So you can literally just come here and check the status of your client's file. Easy peasy. The inbox option is a built-in communication that is with the Safe Client portal. It is only accessible to the pro users. There are going to be a couple of features that I'm going to go over when we get to the letter space that is for pro users as well. But this is when you have activated the pro, you have the ability to email your clients. Your clients can email you within the software, and it's a secure platform, okay? This report option is also a pro feature where you have the ability to go ahead and, hold on, let me minimize this. Okay, where you have the ability to go ahead and show the work that you have done for your client. So I'm going to show you a sample. These two are sample options. Hopefully that's going to load in a second. So this is what it will look like for you to go ahead and showcase your business. If you have a logo or things of that nature, it would have your logo here and your business information down here. And you will have the ability to share on your social media platform. These are the total amount of deletions I've received. This is the total amount of increases I've received. These are the dollars. A lot of times people focus on the score going up. I like to have a total conversation about the overall health of their credit report, because when you came to me, you were over $120,000 in debt. We're now in month 3, we're now in month 4, and you have shaved off $23,000, $33,000 in debt. And we have increased or score may have decreased, right? These are real conversations you get to have, but you're able to go ahead and track this information and actually use it as a great marketing option to get new business to come your way, okay? And again, that is a pro feature. The subscription tab is also a pro feature. It allows you to create billing, payment forms, different plan options. So for instance, I have a done with you package where I generate the letters for the client, but I give it to the client and they have to mail it off themselves. I do have Dispute Panda Pro, so I'm able to generate letters to the credit bureau, and I'm able to generate letters to the creditors because I use Credit Dino for my clients. So when I'm sending their file, they're getting letters that they have to send to the credit bureau, and they're getting letters that they have to send to the creditor to verify and validate the debt, okay? I found that to be very efficient and effective because even if the credit bureau tries to stall you out, the creditor cannot. The creditor has to answer your letter. They have to respond. And if not, they're in breach. And then when you do your CFPB complaint, you got more evidence, okay? But the subscription tab is for the pro option. Again, on this screen, once you're in the system, you have the training tab and you have the contact tab. So if you ever need to get back to the training modules, you can click it while you're in the software. All right. Right here, the balance tab is something I like to review with everyone. The balance tab is where you house your funds, okay? I'm gonna go over the side panel in a moment, but I wanna talk about the features that are here. So everyone is aware that it's $17 to do a round of attack. The exception to that rule is if your client has Credit Dyno. If your client uses Credit Dyno and maintains the Credit Dyno profile, they have the ability to get a free round of attack every 35 days. Every 35 days, when you do the one-click import of the credit report from Credit Dyno, it automatically gives them a credit, so you pay nothing for that round of attack, okay? If you want to purchase credits because you're going to let the system mail it out for you, you can enter the dollar amount that you want here and purchase it. The more you buy, like if you buy in bulk, the rounds of attack goes from $17 down to $12. You can update your payment method. You can store the card of your choice on file. But also one of the things that I like is that we have the ability to go ahead and do a subscribe and save. So what the subscribe and save does is it allows you to purchase, let's say $20, and you get $30 every single month. So if you are doing this for yourself, this could be a perk for you to be able to do that. If you're using Credit Dyno, it would still bill your card for the $20 every month, and you can let the system mail the letters out for you since your round of attack is free. Okay, but you get the option of $20 or $60. Please be aware that your card information is supposed to be used, not the client. So if you are having multiple clients, you're not doing a save and subscribe for the multiple clients. You would be purchasing your actual package, like purchasing credits on their own, if your client is not using Credit Dyno. Does that make sense? All right. So have the ability to subscribe and save, or you can purchase flat out. Just for transparency, your card has to be the one on file. It cannot be your client. If you're doing it for family, you would let your family give you the money for whatever the round of attack is. So if they're not using this, if they're not using Credit Dyno, they're going to pay you $17. I personally charge my family $60 a month. That is my fee, because I still have to print out the letters. I still have to use my stamps. I still have to use, as my son says, my envelopes, okay? So all of those things they still cost. So even though I'll give you the family discount rate and you're not paying, or if I'm doing, that's also my price for my done with you people. That's also an option that you can leverage. So I just wanted to point out the billing information. Now, when I go into the static letters are free as long as you have money in your bucket. So the static letters are letters that are going to the creditors. I'm sorry, the third-party creditors, such as LexisNexis, LLCI, Clarity, Factor Trust, those types of individuals, as well as stall letters, goodwill letters, debt verification letters. All of those letters would go out. All of those letters would be free if you have money in your actual bucket. If there's no money in your bucket, there's a fee or you're not able to do it. So I want to be clear, even if you have $1, you can send out as many static letters as you want to for your clients. And as I'm going to show you in a minute, the new flow has static letters that you're sending out almost every round. So you want to make sure you have money in your bucket, even if your clients are using Credit Dyno and having the free option. Does that make sense? Yeah? All right. So this is the information for the person who owns the profile for the actual account. So this is my information. If I wanted to put my photo in there, I can. It's completely optional. If you have an organization, so you went from doing this for your peeps to now you're going to put this into a full-fledged business. Your sign-up fee is $199, your monthly fee is $149 or $179 or whatever you choose. You can come here and say, this is my company's name, this is my company's website, this is my company's email, right? If you have a privacy policy, you can put it there, as well as your business information. And this is where your contract will be accessible as well. Now, this contract is only visible for clients who have, for clients if you have the pro version. If you do not have the pro version, no one gets to see this contract with you. Okay? You can put your logo. Also with Dispute Panda, their software is free for team members. So what that means is if you have a VA who is just doing your disputing at month after month, you can give them their own login, their own username, their own everything, and they will only have access to view the client's information. They will not have the capability of making any edits or changes to the platform at all. Okay? If you have affiliate links for other credit monitoring softwares and you are using the pro option, of course, they're able to click whichever options you have here. So if you want to use Smart Credit or any of these options, you have the ability to plug it here. You just plug in your affiliate code. And then when your client logs in under the Safe Client Access, they will have the capability of clicking that option at their disposal. All right. The dispute tab, the disputing options are the bureau's addresses. The bureaus have 7 to 8 different addresses. So sometimes the mail might be returned to your client or to yourself if you're disputing for yourself, and they'll tell you what the correct address or that address is no longer being used. You can just come here and click edit and change the actual address on file, and you're good to go. All right, the billing takes you back to the main billing screen. The invoice gives you the option of seeing your client statement, your Panda Pro information, as well as any invoices that you have. The activity tab shows your client's information, what the costs are, the mail. So this is another place for you to see the mail as to when it goes out, and any client who has an attack credit. So again, if Timothy has Credit Dino, Timothy will get a free round of attack every month he pays for his service. If he, that attack only applies to Timothy. So Timothy's wife can't come in and say, I want to use that attack, because that attack is person specific, right? So you'll be able to use it only on Timmy. Timmy's wife, Rebecca, would have to get her own Credit Dino in order for you to generate a free round of attack. And then this was the integration that you saw on the homepage. The integration is for any apps, any communications. You're able to link to Zapier and get the systems to speak to each other, to make any lead magnet forms you're looking for, or if someone fills out a request on the website, it automatically loads them into the system as a lead. Whatever you would like it to do, you're able to go ahead and have multiple systems speak here. So before I get started, are there any questions of the dashboard that we've gone over? Oh, I did forget one thing. Hold on. So sorry, guys. The one thing I forgot, I don't know if we're going to be able to see it. So bear with me one moment. At the bottom under integration, there is an option for a Panda Pro affiliate. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Sorry, guys. Okay. Oh, it's giving me difficulties on this good thing. So under integration, there is an option for you to sign up as an affiliate. I do apologize that it can't be shown on this particular screen, but when you click on that option, you can enroll. Right now, they're not doing any affiliate credits because we're focusing on some different launches for the end of 2023. But in 2024, they will have that as an option that you can refer other businesses to Dispute Panda and give you the ability to earn credits to do so. So if you guys are in the software but have not as of yet loaded anyone in, or like you haven't signed up for any of the affiliates, take the time to do so. It's free 99. It gives you a link. You're good to go. And you can always use it when they make the announcements and the rollout of all the changes that are set to come. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing for a while. Before we get started on loading the test client, do we have any questions? Let me see. We got a lot of pandas in the chat. I'm so happy y'all got y'all stuff. Okay, Tammy. I was in the processing of trying to learn the platform. Okay, Tammy, that's cool. Do you have any questions so far? No, you're good? Let me go ahead and do ice on mute. If you have any questions, you can come off of mute. It's my pleasure to go ahead and support. I went into the community link and was looking for the contract for Texas, but it's not there. So the contract that we did drop last week is not for Texas. It was a generic contract. You would have to find the contract specifically for you, Chris. JM, when you have a minute, can you drop the contract for Chris so that he has access to it? Give me 1 second, but I'll drop a sample contract so that you have access. As a matter of fact, let me see if I have one here. Attack report. I do not, but check, if you go ahead and check back, JM will drop it for you, so you will be able to grab a sample contract. However, it is not going to be specific for your state because everyone on here is in a different space. My contract that I wrote is a little bit more strict because I'm going off of California rules, because California is a little bit more strict on their policies. So I personally have a contract that mirrors a lot closer to the California verbiage. I did give it to the back office and they are editing it. They will go ahead and load that on the community once it's complete. Keep going. Keep getting stalled with experience. Do I wait until the next round? iPhone Bert. So Bert, there is a stall letter that we're going to show in a moment if you are still here. I hope Bert is still here. I'm not quite sure if Bert's still here. But I will go ahead and show the stall letter. You want to send the stall letter along with the original letter that you had to the credit bureau that you're getting a stall for. Okay. Sorry guys. I'm so confused. All right, so I'm in Georgia, which is limited for me. Yes, it is limited. The best option for you, Tammy, I'm gonna be real with you, honey. If you are not believe they have a non-for-profit is the policy with Georgia, or you have to be with a law office. The push that you would have is you would go for a done with you option instead of the done for you option. And you can go ahead and move over to, you can contact Credit Dyno. They have an option for credit monitoring for $49.99. It comes with like insurance and all of these additional additives. And that payout is $22 if they're on the $49.99 package. So you can give them the link for Credit Dyno for the $49.99 package. So you can make $22. And then you can do the done with you product where you generate the letters, but you send it to them and they mail the letters off with you and you bill them whenever you generate the round of attacks. Editable contract, but make sure that the customs fields are filled out appropriately. All right, thank you, JM. Does Credit Dyno discount apply to personal accounts since I set it up separately? King, I'm not quite sure what you mean. So when you get a second, I'm gonna go to Corey. After Corey, if you can come off of mute, because I want to make sure that I understand the question. Hey Corey, what questions do you have, my love?
What's going on? How you doing?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
All right, listen, I got the store letter, I got everything already prepared. I think I mailed out my correspondence on I think the 20th of October.
Uh-huh.
So I look at all the videos and I know some people said wait 30, 35 days. Some lady said she even wait 40 days to make sure that, whatever. So I'm assuming that's business days. You don't want to count the weekends, right?
That's incorrect. It's 30 days, 30
30,
full days.
30
So
full.
it's 5 days for the mail to get. So if you're doing first class mail, which is regular mail, it's 5 days for it to get to them, 30 days for them to process it, and then 5 days for them to get back. So I am a company that operates and sends out letters every 40 days.
Every 40 days.
Yes.
All right.
Credit Dino, however, gives your clients free rounds of attack every 35. So if you want to move that to where on the 40th day, you're then pulling the report. If you're using Credit Dino, that's fine.
Got you. Now, also, one lady answered my question already. I forgot what I was about to say. Now with the store letter, you said send back the original letter that we sent to that particular agency. So what if it's like different letters for that same agency? How would you know which letter it was? Because I got one of the letters back from TransUnion, and all it said was the same thing that the video said. Oh, you're supposed to verify you as this is a third party agency. So I already printed out the store letter from the I already printed out the letter, and I'm gonna wait, I guess, a couple of more days because I guess I mailed my stuff out on the 20th. So how do I know which letter that they sent me? Like, because I guess,
So I'm going to tell you that I err on the side of caution. So my assumption is you didn't work none of my files because you're sending me a letter saying that you want to verify that it's not a third party. So every single one of the letters that I mail to TransUnion or Equifax or Experian, I'm going to print out that stall letter and I'm going to put it with it. So if I'm doing, so Dominique does it where he says that you can put all of the letters that are going to TransUnion in one envelope with that stall letter. I personally do not. I normally space out my letters. So if I'm doing 3 letters in one envelope, the stall letter plus the 3 letters, then I'm going to do it, print out another stall letter plus the next set of 3 letters. Because let's say a person has like, I had one time where I had one person had like 9 letters go to TransUnion. You follow what I'm saying? So yes, to you. If you're bulking it together, you bulk all the letters together, you put the stall letter on top, you mail it out.
Got you. All right. And let me see. I think that's it, man. That's well, I guess that's it. Yeah, I got everything basically covered. I appreciate that.
Anytime.
One more thing. That's what it is. Now I know in the software it says you can make the receiver the sender. Now, I live in a small town and I send everything certified mail because I'm gonna print it out. So when I go to them and get this lady this mail, is she gonna say something that I got the receiver?
Nope.
Oh, she can't say nothing. Okay.
How they don't know you don't know them? Child, go sit down. Tell them go ahead.
Yeah, because they're a little different.
Go to Starbucks.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you.
But bring them a little candy. Bring them a little cookie or something, friend. Be a little nice. But no, it is not. To Kayla's point, it is none of their business. That's right. Mind the business that pays you, and it's these little stamps. Go ahead and put them in there. But no, they're not questioning. So I am a firm believer. The first round of letters that I send out to my clients, the return address is actually my business. The second round of letters that I send out are all to the actual client as the return sender. So that I just do it a little bit different. Oh my goodness. Sorry. So what was I gonna say? I might have to just log into my regular list today, guys. All right. So any other questions you got, Corey? You have some good ones tonight. Thank you.
Nah, I'm good. I appreciate you.
My pleasure, my love. All right. So iPhone Bert says, what if I send through Dispute Panda? When you're sending through Dispute Panda, you're clicking on the stall letter. They package everything together and the stall letter is going to be included. So again, that's still not going to have to be a worry. And I'm going to show you guys on the platform what the stall letter is going to look like and how you'll be able to maneuver. So it makes it a little bit clearer when you're going through the system. Is King still here? I can't. Oh, King, are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm still here.
All right. Can you expound a little bit more on the question you have? Does Dino discount apply to what? What you mean? Talk to me.
Yeah, so you were saying if the client is set up with the credit Dino, I guess to get like a free round of attacks every 30 days.
That's correct.
Does that apply to like me? I only have myself on there now, because I'm, just trying to make sure I learn the system and everything before I, outsource and try to get more people to join.
Facts. Big facts. I love the fact that you're doing that. So my question is, do you have Credit Dino?
No, I have Identity IQ.
So the free round of attacks only apply to Credit Dino members.
Okay.
So you would have to have Credit Dino as your monitoring software in order for you to earn that free round of attack.
Okay, but it does apply for personal accounts too, right?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not quite sure what you mean. So you're saying for yourself. So as long as there is so Credit Dino monitoring is only for personal. It's not for business. It's not a credit monitoring for business platforms. It's only for personal. So if you have Credit Dino as a person and you're the only client in your software, you're going to get a free round of attack every month. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're on the same page now. Thank you. I appreciate that.
See, I just want you to pick it up and put it in your pocket, friend. I'm glad I got it. Okay. Any other questions you got for me? No? All right.
Oh, no, yeah, that's it.
No problem. Okay, so of course I was running my mouth, y'all. So my system timed out on me. So hang on 1 second. Let me load. And when I say people just started coming in the room, y'all, they were coming in the room like, sir, I know y'all see me here talking. I don't look like I'm talking to myself. All right, let's get started with the share. All right, so we are going to load the client in today as a team. So remember that the information that you're putting in here is going to be the information that is going to appear on your client's letter. What if your client uses their middle name, you can put it in there. It is not mandatory. What is mandatory is the first name and the last name. I personally, if the client has multiple, if it's a senior, junior, third, fourth, and I'm working the whole family, I like to personally keep the suffix notated so that when I go into the file, I know exactly who I'm working and what information I'm plugging in. As I stated earlier, you want to make sure that the email address that you're using is not the same email address that you use to sign up. It will create a problem when you are looking to try and sign yourself in. So you have to have a separate email. The software only requires the last 4 of the social. It doesn't require the whole thing, as you're going to be uploading the documents accordingly, okay? When it comes to the address, you want to make sure that you're not putting everything on one line, okay? So you want to have the street address, the city, state, and zip code needs to be on its individual line to make sure that there are no errors when that information is being taken on and placed in the letter systemically. You do want to go ahead and make sure you have the client's date of birth in here. If you have the pro option, when you're speaking to the client, you're uploading them in the system, doing all of the things on the phone or via Zoom. I'm a Zoom person personally. I would click the invite option. If you have the pro, it will automatically send them an invite, and then they will be able to go ahead and log in, upload their identification, sign the contracts, all of the good things. Okay, so you have now loaded yourself. If you've already done this step, guys, congratulations. We're about to get into the disputing in a moment. If you haven't and you are doing it with me, congratulations. You are officially in the software. Okay, any questions on what we just covered? Okay, cool. So this is the test client. So as you guys are in the system, one of the things you'll notice is from top to bottom is telling you what's missing. So it's telling you there's missing documents. You cannot go on to attack, as you can see, until you actually have loaded the client's information in. So that is the proof of identification, the proof of address. This is optional, and we're going to go over what those documents are while we're here if you want to take a screenshot. But this is also loaded in how to add a client to Dispute Panda credit repair software and get free attacks. So these are in the video. I literally lost the one that I had before, and I just literally watched one of the videos, took a screenshot, and I have it here for you guys every time we dip and do. So when we're talking about proof of identity for the client, something that I like to touch on is that the software itself is going to need documentation that is going to go with the letter. If you do not include that documentation, to your point, they like, even if you send it, sometimes they like to go ahead and stall you out, right? But I want you to have the right documentation in order for you to go ahead and send out to your client, okay? So the valid driver's license is an option, but let's say you have a client who was living in Kentucky, recently moved to Tennessee, but still has their Kentucky ID. What you want to do is not use that ID, pick something else on the form. If they have nothing else, you're going to have to leverage the proof of address. My situation is I like everything to be seamless. So if the valid ID does not have the current residence on there, I will either move to the Social Security card, as you can see, the paycheck stub, W-2 form, 1099. You can even use a person's birth certificate and passport, right? In order to go ahead and leverage. You can use their military ID, which has absolutely no address at all, darling, on it. So you can use multiple sources as a proof of identification, and then you can use these options as a proof of address. Now, please be mindful that if you're using a utility bill, a gas bill, you want to go ahead and get the information from the client every 90 days, so that you can validate and prove to the credit bureau that that person is still residing at that location. All right, just a pro tip I like to go ahead and give y'all. Again, if you did not have the ability to screenshot this or you don't see it, please go ahead and watch the how to add a client to Dispute Panda credit repair software and get a free attack. This document is also accessible there for you. All right, so now we're going to get into loading the documentation for the client, and I like to go over some of the perks that are on this software. A lot of times when we're doing credit repair, people will send us documentation and it will give us a whole page of things that we do not need. The software allows you to crop out what is unnecessary, right? To make it easy for you to go ahead and save on paper and ink and envelopes, because you want to get all of the items, if not on one page, at the minimum of 2. So all of this information is none of their business. All they need, to be quite honest, they don't even need to know the past date. They just need to know this date is active. I've had some people who even come all the way down here and only use the address. Completely up to you. I just want to let you know that you don't need this full page, and the system allows you to crop and save. If your client, then if it hits the 90 days, you need a new bill, you can literally just hit X, go ahead and grab and drop again, and you are able to go ahead and upload the new bill and edit it to your liking. All right. Same thing with the ID. If they come and they give you the ID, and the ID is on a big old piece of white paper, you can come in and crop it accordingly and go ahead and save. All right. I personally am going to add the Social Security card here. I'm going to hit crop and save, and we're good to go. Now, here is where you get to the credit monitoring, because you can't pull a round of attack. You can't do anything until they know what's going on. So you would come into the system and select the credit monitoring software that you want to leverage for your client. Today, we are doing Credit Dyno. So another benefit with Credit Dyno, unlike these other softwares that are here, you have to log into those software and refresh your report every 30, 35 days, whatever your process is, right? With Credit Dyno, you do not have to do that. At the 35-day, the 40-day window, you can come in and click one-click import. It will import your client's information all at once with no headache, no hassle, no nothing. So you do not have to log into one system and then log into here. Everything is in one wheelhouse for you to leverage. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to add in the credential. Since I'm going to be typing, I will not be able to see the chat. So if anyone has any questions with what I've gone over so far, please come off of mute and ask away. No questions?
I do want to ask you a question.
If multiple clients per se for the and you add them to Credit Dyno, is there a group package where you don't have to pay separately $29.99 every time for each personnel that you add?
So you're saying if you have mom, dad, sister, brother, right? Yeah. And they all have to pay for their own credit monitor. Now,
okay, so they
Go ahead, I'm sorry. No, go ahead, my love. What was your question?
So
each member has to pay the $29.99, but then we'll alter it and go to the Credit Panda and then put the information in there. And we have to I have to each add all their logins every time to mine for the Credit Dyno.
You don't add it every time. You only add it one time.
One time.
Yes, okay. You add it there one time. You come back every month to go ahead and upload the information that's there.
Okay. And just to make sure, each member will pay $29.99, and then once we put it into the Credit Panda, Credit Panda wouldn't have to worry about paying the extra fee every time. It's just only with the Credit Dyno. Am I correct?
There is no fee for Dispute Panda at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Dispute Panda is free. The only thing that you pay for is your round of letters. So if your client is using the Credit Dyno as the credit monitoring software, there is no fee that is attached at all for that particular round for that particular client. Does that make sense?
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good question. My pleasure.
How you doing, Raquel?
Hey, my love.
It's Ray Clark again. You know.
Hey.
What's up? So again, I'm not doing it with clients and all that. I'm just doing it to just fix whatever little inquiries that I have on my credit to get rid of in my businesses and stuff. So I got the social security card. Remember last time I told you I was waiting to get a new one. So I got the ID.
Okay.
There you go. I got the ID. I got the what's up? Yeah, I got the ID. I got the social security card. So and I got Credit Dyno, which they gave me all three of my credit reports, the credit scores, the credit reports, the problems, whatever things I got, which I got a clean slate with everything. Right. My whole situation is I don't have credit. Everything is clean. I owe nobody nothing. I got no bankruptcy. Everything I had is paid off like years ago.
Okay.
I just need, trying to use Panda to help remove anything I see that's still sitting there. So I'm not really trying to build clients like the other good guests you got here. Congrats to them. Good luck. But I'm just trying to get my shit just cleaned up. So what I gotta do, just go through the same process again, get the ID, upload the ID, the social security card, and then just take it from there. And Panda is free, like you said. So I'm just really, I just paid, I gotta pay Dyno. Dyno just sent me a bill.
Right.
Dyno, so I gotta pay them. So I'm about to pay them. So, and then I just use Panda.
Yep.
Along with it.
Round of attack is free. Absolutely.
Should I just use the things I've seen that you sent the videos to tell me how to do it? Or is it just straight explanatory with how to send the attacks and stuff like that? It's like 2 weeks. I ain't check it out last time.
Well, we're doing the attack right now. So if you're in the room today, you'll be able to see it again to get a refresher. So no problem. Hang tight. You'll be able to see how to do the attack and where you can get the new attack round because they're loading it into the system. So we'll drop it in the chat in a minute. Okay.
So stay on, because I know I went through this already. So I just was like, let me come.
Yeah, if you're wanting a refresher, if you want to watch the replay, that's fine. But if you're already here and you want to stay on, we're about to go through the round of attack of how to do the attack right now. So if you need a refresher, we're about to dive into it right now.
All right, good, because that's what I'm gonna do. Come on, sign up with Panda, and then I'm gonna just go straight. Cause I got Dyno, so I'm gonna just go straight to starting some attacks. So that's where I'm at.
No
All
problem.
right, so cool. I'll sit quiet.
All right, thank
All
you.
right, cool. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
My
Bye.
pleasure.
You look nice. Good nice to see you
I
again.
took a shower, y'all. I brushed my teeth.
She funny.
Any other questions, guys? Anyone else?
Yeah, I got one.
All right, I'm here. What's that?
Well, I was wondering if we can also get, besides the sample contract, you said you had one that's a little bit more beefier that you use. As far as I guess for your California one, and then I guess secondly for the proof of address,
Uh-huh.
using a pay stub, what portion would I need to use of the pay stub? Just the address part? Because usually when pay stubs come and they have the address, it's just the check itself and not the actually itemized pay stub, right? Where it shows like
Not
hourly wage and
giving
stuff
them
like that.
any of that information. All you're giving them is proof. Remember the document, what are you using the document for? You're using the document to verify that this person lives at this address. They don't need to know how much the person makes. So all you're capturing is just that specific information. So you would crop out everything else. So if they upload the full paycheck stub with the check, you don't need that. You just need to copy that little piece where it has the address in it as their proof of address.
Got you. So,
Got it?
and if I have any other, clients, I'm sorry, or family member, friends on that optional view,
Uh-huh.
if they're not comfortable giving, the client's like, well, I don't know about the Social Security, right? We can also, all of that's optional, right? So there'd just be proof of address.
Here's my situation. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. If you're
Yeah.
not willing, your credit's already bad. What I'm gonna do? Take your credit and mess it up? Like, what? I'm trying to help you out. So, do you want me to help you or don't you? Right? Like at the end of the day, this document is going to help me cement getting the stuff done so you can get the funding, the resources, the job, the apartment, whatever it is you're looking for. If you're coming to me, it's because you need help. How am I going to use your information to then commit? I mean, not to say that there are not people out there that are not fraudulent, but in reality, the goal is you wanted to get help. So give me these documents to help you. Is it optional? Can you choose not to send it? You sure can. You can choose to use just the first two because those are the only ones required. For me, I ask for all of those documents because you have to remember, again, sometimes the person's, and this is something that I've seen, the person's social security number is wrong on the credit report. So when I'm adding that that social security card, it is making sure that they're validating that number is accurate across the board. I had a client who her and her brother had the same last four social security numbers, like the same last four numbers, and their files were cross-merged. I was able to uncross merge it because of the fact that I sent over the full Social Security. You follow what I'm saying? So
Yes.
either gonna let me work, big dog, or you gonna go ahead and sit down.
Yeah, okay. I appreciate that.
Say it with your chest. Kevin Hart, say it with your chest. What you need. I do not have the contract on my laptop. It is on my desk computer. So when I go home on Monday, if you're in the room, even if you pop in the beginning, just let me know and I'll go ahead and get it up there if the one that I gave the back office isn't ready in the community. Because I did give it to them on Monday, so it should be in the community by the end of this weekend. But if not, I will go ahead and drop it on Monday's class. Sounds good?
Awesome. Thank you.
My pleasure, honey. I'm here to help. I'm here to help and serve like I'm in the military, like my brother. I'm in the military. All right. Any other questions before we get started and deep sea dive onto the platform? Because we are about to go into the disputing process and reviewing. We're going to talk about some perks with Credit Dino. Oh, wait a minute. I saw the chat. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. We got the chat. Tammy's in Georgia. Does Credit Dino? We answered that. It's a nice sample contracts. Let me say something. I love Miss Kayla talking about that ain't none of their business. That's how I read it with the whole neck turn that don't judge my life.
I have one question.
Yes, my love.
Because I've been moving around. So I'm trying to see if this recorded and is it a way that I'll be able to rewatch it?
Absolutely. So JM has already dropped it in the chat where you can watch on our YouTube channel for you to see all of the previous videos that I went through. And you can see other questions that people may have asked that you didn't even think of. You know what I mean? to
Mhm.
take a moment. So it'll be there.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. Just go listen. Anything you need, my JM and my David has it covered in the chat. Okay, they're mine.
Okay.
Okay, signatures are required if you are not yet in pro, because I'm just doing family friends for now. So Bert, tell your family to pull up and sign these papers. Sign these papers. I need to go to Vegas and see Usher. Don't judge my life. Okay, don't judge my life. I'm gonna see Usher one day, because he was supposed to be with me anyway. Okay, don't tell my husband I said that, because he gonna get mad. Don't tell my husband I said that, he gonna get mad at me. All right. Okay, we're gonna stop sharing. So I have loaded the client's information into the screen. As you can see over here, it says one free attack. Okay, so once you've loaded the client in, it will go ahead and transfer over to the disputing platform, where you can go ahead and help your clients get the dispute that they need. Hold on a second. This is what will pop up after you have done the credit dyno flow. It will pop up to where you will have the ability to go ahead and see, hey, you've earned one free credit. And then that information will go ahead and pop over right here where you can confirm. Now, sometimes it does not refresh as quickly when you go through the round of attack, but I want to be transparent and advise you guys that it's still going to pull there, darling. So just know you only get one for Rebecca and them. You do not get multiple, all right? So be careful if you have money in your bucket and you did something additional, like you did another round of attack, it will pull from your balance at the end of the day. So with the Dispute Panda software, it has an artificial intelligence that reads the actual credit dyno profile, and it auto selects any account that is hindering your client's profile. So the top portion is the inquiry. It does show you in a lump sum, but you can have the conversation per bureau with your client, and you can educate your client. I love educating them so that they know, listen, sometimes the credit bureaus pull from all 3 credit bureaus. Sometimes they do not. So what that means is you might see, like in this person's case, they have 5 TransUnion inquiries, but only 2 Experian and only 3 Equifax. We don't get to dictate who that creditor pulls from at that specific time. So you want to go ahead and be mindful when you're having this discussion with your client and pull that out. One of the things, and this is best practice that I teach in all of the classes, is that you only pull the inquiry if the account is closed. I will go ahead and dispute it. But if the account, so if this person had a one main account, down here in the account section, you can scroll, or you can go ahead and do control find or command find and type in one main, and it will tell you where the one main account is. So in this case, one main never granted the client anything at all. So I can go ahead and select these options to go ahead and dispute for my client, right? The bankruptcy, I'm going to leave auto-filled because I'm going to dispute it for my client. If my client's like, no, don't dispute the bankruptcy because I'm in litigation for whatever, you simply uncheck it and it will not populate on your client's report at all, okay? Now, one of the things I want to talk about are the benefits of having credit dyno and having a clear conversation. So we know we're looking at this Open Sky account. It's a credit card account, right? The Open Sky account is in its current status. It is closed and it's in charge off or collection status, right? When you click this little I button, it breaks down the information more in depth for you to have a conversation with your client. So let's say this Open Sky account was actually open and currently active. Okay, you have the ability to see the status of the information, speak to your client from credit bureau to credit bureau, what's notated, and then you can click on payment history. This is a clear conversation that you can educate your client and say, hey, you're at 75% payment history. So we know that payment history is worth 35%. of the full FICO score. So when we're breaking down your FICO calculations and what is considered, the heaviest portion is, did you pay on time? That is worth roughly 192 points. So if you're not paying on time, boo, you're not getting those 192 points. If you're at 75%, you are doing yourself a disservice by paying late. Let's start making a plan of action. Let's go in and set this card on auto pay so that going forward, you can make sure that you're in the 90 percentile or 100% is the goal for paying on time, right? But then you can click on this option, go a little bit deeper and say, hey, I see that you have this credit card and your utilization is over 30%, or your utilization's at 120%. And trust me, all that can happen. If the person uses their full account and then the statement closes and the interest is applied, they can be over, right? If they then have a late fee on top of it, that takes them over again. So you can have that conversation and say, hey, utilization is 30% of your credit score, right? Which equates to a little bit over 160 points. So if you are not staying below that 35 percentile, which the goal for your clients ideally is to get them at the 2% rate at the statement date, not the due date, but the statement date on their credit report, right? You want to go ahead and have that conversation with them so that you're educating them on how they can be a beast in the credit streets in real time, okay? So you're having this conversation and you're able to look at their profile in totality. So this account's been open since 2019. Life was good 2019, 2020. Yo, did the pandemic hit and it caused a problem? Let's talk about it. How have you gotten out of it? I want to make sure that you're now moving forward. Now, understanding that the late payment affects you for, hold on one second, guys. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry about that. There's a little bit of noises in the back. Sorry, guys. So when you're having the conversation with your client, you're able to educate them on what's going on with the platform and the software. You're able to educate them on how these percentage goes ahead and impacts their numbers. Ideally, if a person is under 10% of their overall credit card utilization, they're in the high 700, 800 club, right? If your client is at 15%, they're in the 700 club. So if they're at a 30%, you're looking at them having an impact where they are seriously looking and not getting the full 160 points from their utilization section. So you want to go ahead and have that conversation, especially if you're having an analysis call with them or on your consultation call. That's what you're talking about. You're looking at that credit report and you're going over the health of the credit. You're going over, hey, you're using more credit than what's available. Let's talk about how we can mitigate that. How can we lower that, right? And you're having those clear discussions. And you're able to talk about when did this originally impact them. So you can have that full holistic conversation that, hey, I see that this started in August of 2022. Does that sound right? Your client might be like, nah, I was never late in August. The reality of the situation is your letters is going to be sent to if you have the credit dyno and you have pro, your letters will be going to that credit bureau as well as that creditor saying, prove I was late. Prove that this information is accurate, right? Because I need you to validate that. And you can have a holistic conversation with your client on what their payment history looks like, what their account health looks like as a whole, and be able to help them through those waters seamlessly, okay? So that's one feature. The other feature that we have is if you are a consumer person. So there are some people that come here that have been in business for a long time, and they are consumer law experts. They know the codes to use. They may know a factual disputing that is epic and is easy for you to use. You can click, I'm going to go ahead and click it one more time so you guys can see it. You can click add custom message, and you can write the letter, write the form, whatever the verbiage is, and you can actually save it for the future, save the template, or you can just click use for today. So let's say I find a code 25 that has to do something with late payment. I pull the verbiage off of the site, and then I go ahead and click use template. What will end up happening is if I pick a round of attack like you saw on the screen before that said Pinwheel super boosted, all of the other accounts will have that information, but this one account will only print off with the information that you have in the custom message. If you're like, you know what, I'm going to do this round, I'm not going to add anything, you can just hit remove and you're good to go. Now, there are some options where you see this wonderful yellow. It's still an account that's impacted, right? The account is impacted. We know that there's a problem. We know that there's something going on, but we don't want to put the client at a disadvantage by disputing that particular file. Now, of course, we have a late payment system that with Credit Dyno, it does attack the late payment seamlessly, but what we want to do is make sure we're not doing any harm. So if that late payment is new, right, and it's within that 24-month window, but that account has been open since 2011, it is still open today. It's been open since 1997. It is not worth running the risk of actually disputing that account. What I would recommend is to uncheck the option. Sometimes you'll actually see this yellow box where it's not checked at all. That is for you to proof and approve. What I would do in that case, if the account is very old and the account is open, again, open, old, the late payment is recent, I am not going to dispute that account traditionally. I am going to go into the static letters and I'm going to print a Goodwick letter for the actual client. Does that make sense? That is going to be how I'm going to operate for the client, okay? Now, you're not able to go on to the attack round until you have selected save filter. So you have to go through the profile, have the conversation, look at the accounts, make sure that you're not doing any harm for your client. And then once you have completed that, you have the ability to go ahead and save, and then it will move on to the disputing option. All right. So I know Ray, I'm not quite sure how early Ray got in. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Hold on a second, guys. Ray, were you able to see the new attack flow?
No, I looked on it the same time when I was speaking to you about it. Actually, before I spoke to you is when I was looking at it. So I saw anything that was before that new attack flow. If it's now you're doing it, then I didn't see it yet now.
Okay, cool beans. I'm going to pull it up in a second. You started to say late payments only affect you for a certain amount of time, but you never said that long. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. The late payments decrease as, since I'm not sharing the screen, I'll put my face on. Okay, thanks guys. The late payments affect you in a 24-month window. So the goal is for you to earn those points that you lost back. So if you were late in December of 2022, as long as you're not late again, you're going, let's say you lost 50 points, so you lost 80 points, right? So right now you're looking at student loans. If you are late on your student loans more than 60 to 90 days, you could potentially lose up to 80 points, right? Well, if you were late, but then you've now been on time, every single month you're on time, you're earning those late points back every single month. So your lates really only impact you for the first 24 months. Now, it's a twofold situation. I like to cover both ends. So I'm going to tell you the other side of this coin. So let's say your lates are only affecting your calculations for 24 months, right? But let's say you go to a vendor and they turn around, you're trying to get a Capital One or you're trying to get an Amex, they may tell you, even though your points may be trending in the right direction, because you were late within the last 60, 90, right? They can turn around and say, hey, I'm not going to give you credit because I see that you've been late on your profile, right? So there are two different ways that late payment affects a person. But what I want to be clear on is that when you're working with a client with late payments, if that account is old, okay, because the goal is 10 or more years, you want to have that time frame. So if that account is old, and especially if everything else around it is in good standings, we're not going to necessarily dispute that. Traditionally, we're going to start with a goodwill letter, and then we're going to go and write a letter we're going to take that goodwill letter, send it to the CEO. Like, we're going to make different attempts before we go and decide that we're going to try and attack that account. Now, again, Credit Dino does have a late payment letter that the algorithm is reading for specific accounts, but I want to educate you with first, second, third process, not just diving in and attacking that round. Start with goodwill and then pivot. Ray JM just dropped the new flow in the chat, and I'm going to go ahead and share it.
Did you see my I put some, I wrote some in the chat just now. I don't know if you saw it. Like, I got 3 accounts, or I had 3 that was delinquent, but I took care of all of them.
Okay.
And recently, I was trying to get some lines of credit from banks, credit cards and stuff like that, and I got denied a lot. But I just recently got approved for a Capital One Platinum. So I got that one right now. Just recently got it. So I'm trying to build lines of credit. So I know the reason is because I don't have accounts. I don't have like a large amount of credit. That's the reason why my score is the way it is.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to do with Panda, is try to get more lines of credit, get my credit score up.
So Panda is not going to give you more lines of credit. So let's have this conversation.
The credit score as far as like making the credit scores go up. It's cleaning it off and then making it grow or whatever.
So your activity is what's going to make your accounts grow. So let me clarify. There's a dance that you're doing with credit repair. I don't want there to be a misunderstanding. There are 2 parts of credit repair or of the credit process. Forget repair, 2 parts of the credit process. So the first thing you're looking at is, I want to remove outdated old errors, right? If I have collections on there, I'm going to try the pay per delete method. I'm going to go ahead and write letters, get those things taken off, dip and do on that side, right? That's going to help make your account, because the goal is 1 name, 1 address, 1 date of birth, 1 everything on your credit profile. Number 1, your employer does not have to be on your credit profile. That's not necessary information. That information is generated because when you apply for something, you put your employer down there and that information flows up. So the software and the goal is to remove outdated, inaccurate information on the profile, right? Boom. So that's one side. If your goal is to grow your credit score, then that's activities in which you have to do. There are 5 factors that's going to negate whether or not you're going to go up in your credit score or you're going to go down. Payment history is 1. Payment history applies to installment loans, which is your mortgage payment, your car payment, your credit card, your student, not credit card, your student loans. Those are all installments. So car payment, mortgages, student loans, anything that you're purchasing and you have an estimated end date of completion, that is installment, right? The second portion of that, when they're looking at your payment history, are revolving accounts, right? So that means you have the ability to use the credit, you pay it off, you use it again, the revolving factor. So that is all calculated in your payment history. So if you only have a credit card, but you don't have a installment loan, you're leaving yourself where you're not collecting all of your points, okay? You're not getting all of the scores in that particular makeup.
Well, I had a note for my car. I paid that off like 2 years ago. I paid off everything.
So do you have an installment and a revolving? Yes or no?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
think so.
So the goal is, and I'm going to go through the whole thing. So the first thing is going to be your payment history. You have to have both sides of the coin. installment and revolving, right? But that's going to be in a different section. We're just talking about payment history first. You want to pay on time.
I got
You want
90%.
payments.
They got
Cool.
what I see. Yeah.
The next option is, the next section is your utilization has to be below 30% on the time when your information is being sent to the credit bureau. My clients, the goal is to be under 15 when you first come with me. So we're trying to, get you lower, get you lower, get you lower, get you lower. The goal is when you leave my program to be under 10%, right? So that's your utilization, which is roughly 160 points, 165 points. The next option is age. How old is that account?
Right.
The age that the credit bureau looking for ideally is 10. You'll see some places it says 5, it says 7. My experience is 10 and above, you're dipping and doing in these streets, okay? So that's worth 87 points roughly, okay? The next two buckets are, do you have installment loans, which is worth 10%, installment and revolving, that's worth 55 points. So all you have is your credit card, you're not getting the full 55 points. If that credit card is new, you're not getting the full points. You get what I'm saying? Like, there are gaps in your profile.
Yeah.
So when you're now talking, I want to build my credit,
Yeah.
your process of building is going to be different. Kayla dropped some gems in the chat. Come on, Kayla. So there are different options that you can leverage to build your credit. You can get secured card options. You can actually do an installment loan with your credit union. I always recommend credit unions all the time, guys. They'll give you like a credit line or like a CD. You can give them like $1,000. They'll give you $1,000 CD. You can put that same $1,000 in your savings account, make them pull the money every single month, rinse and repeat until you have that, until you get another installment loan. If you have a student loan, you don't necessarily have to worry about an installment because your student loan is an installment and it's able to help you on the other side, right? So yes, someone was saying a pledge loan with Navy, that's an option. So there are different options that you can do to build your actual credit score.
But
Start with your bank.
Right, I'm with a credit union. I'm with credit union, MCU. I'm with Bank of America. I got a Capital One card. But
Right.
the thing is, I got the card to help build the credit. That's why, because I wanted, like, I came with Panda so Panda could get, like, remove all of my inquiries, bad stuff that I got there that's sitting there that I know is like only 3 accounts, but they all paid off. They got it when I checked Credit Dino.
Right.
I mean, I got clean slates on everything. I don't owe nobody
Right.
anything with bankruptcies. But I got the credit card to help buy things and pay it back on time to help get that good. So that's why I got it. So I just got that one. So I'm now starting to use it. So in the meanwhile, I want Dino or Panda to just clean up all those other things so it's even better, right?
I understand what you're saying, but what I want you to focus on, my love, is that it's two folds. You need to have an installment and a revolving. So you want to get an installment loan as well, because that is worth 55 points. If you're only doing one, which is just the credit card site, you're not getting the full 55 points.
So I go to the bank, I go to my bank and ask them for what you
can
just
ask
said?
them for an installment loan. You can ask them for a CD. He was talking about a pledge loan. They have different products. You can ask them so you don't have to get into something big. You don't have to get like a whole nother car. You get it? Like, you don't have to do that. But what I want to educate is that the building process is not just getting a credit card. You have to have a revolving and an installment, so that think about it as looking like you're diversifying yourself. You're making yourself be more attractive to other lenders because they see that you can be trusted with multiple sources of revenue.
So what can the installment loan be for? Like, if I go to the bank and say I want an installment loan, they're gonna say, what do you want it for? Because I don't know everything about the installment loans and everything. So I'm learning as well. So
the pledge loan is what we just talked about, or a CD loan. Right. That is an installment loan. Okay. You follow what I'm saying? So if you don't need a tangible product, you can go to them and say, do you guys have a CD loan where I have to pay X amount of money every single month and you guys report it on my credit report? A lot of the credit unions have it and it's called a pledge loan. Okay. So that is another option because with the loan, you're not being able to use that account again. So that is an installment. So you would go there and ask them, what installment products do I qualify for? And they sometimes they may have it where you have to put money down and then they get it back. They you pay it back every single month.
Almost like a secured.
Correct.
Almost like secured. Okay,
Correct.
so if I want to use the money to help scale my businesses, can I ask them for an installment loan for that, or
if you're personally pledging it, so I don't want us
that's
to
for me?
I
All
don't
of
want
this
us
is
to
for me.
bleed one second. I don't want us to bleed the conversation.
Okay.
If you can choose to take the loan and do whatever Jesus wants you to do with it, what I'm saying is you need to have a loan or something that is installment, and you need to have something that's revolving. How you leverage the funds that come in is completely up to you. So if you're like, hey, my business needs an extra $1,000, but I don't have enough business capital to do that, let me take this loan and then take it over here and get a business product. That is completely up to you because you can leverage that, put it on your business side, and then build, use that to build your business credit as well. But what you choose to do with the funding is completely up to you. I just want you to have the knowledge that you have to do both. You want an installment and you want a revolving because that's 55 points in totality for you.
Okay.
Make
Okay.
sense?
So yeah, complete. You're great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
My
So I
pleasure.
got one, which is the credit card. So I need another one.
Yep, you can get another one, and they
I
dropped
mean, I got the credit card part, so I need the installment loan part.
right, and you can get multiple credit cards. So I don't want you to feel like you're left out there or you only have to stay with Capital One. There are different options that you can leverage, but since you have Capital One, work what you got. You get what I'm saying, and then build from there.
Yeah, because the other ones keep turning me down. So I'm like,
So my question, so what I would like you to do, if you do decide to come back on another day, I want you to bring, and this is something that we can do during the Q&A session. I want you to bring the denial letter, because what I want us to do, since you're saying that you're brand new, I want us to have a conversation on what that denial letter says, because the denial letter will educate you on why you're getting declined. So now you can curate a plan specifically on how to get that next yes from that particular vendor. Does that make sense?
Yeah, complete. Because I need those right now a lot.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
go ahead. The next time you come on, bring one of your denial letters. We'll talk about what the denial letter is saying so that you can have a clear understanding, and it will help you to educate your client as well. Okay.
I'm the client. Everything is me.
Oh, I'm saying, like, if you end up having family members, you can tell your family,
okay.
it's why you getting denied, son. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can look at the letter and be able to tell them, here's the whys behind it. Because sometimes you're getting denied, and I'm going to be honest with you, I've been doing this for a while, and I've had people get denied who has a 700 plus credit score, and they're getting denied because of the fact that they have what's the verbiage I'm looking for? So I have one person who had like a 723 was their mid score, and they were having a situation where they had a lot of inquiries, or their balances that were reporting on the credit report was too high. So when you get that denial letter tells your client, tells you as the consumer, why that credit bureau is kicking you out, why they're saying no. So I want you to have that tool to be able to leverage it while you're trying to build yourself and build your business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because then you know how to navigate both waters.
Right.
Sam wanted to add something. My pleasure, boo. Sam wanted to add. Huh?
You do one-on-ones, like
I do one-on-ones. Yeah. I think I dropped my so my email is support@evolvedlifenow. I'll drop it in the chat, guys. I'm so sorry I'm not home, but you guys can send me a message that says coaching, and I will drop you guys my link in the email and everything for you. But Sam, you said that you wanted to go ahead and add something to the conversation. Come on off of mute, honey. I'm here to help. What you got?
I'm gonna help Brother Charles right quick. I'm gonna keep it very simple. Go to Navy Federal. Go ask for a pledge loan. If you have a Navy Federal account, go ask for a pledge loan. I did it recently. It was like for $5,000. They're gonna, what the whole thing is, they want to do is see that you're doing constant transaction. So what I did is I did $5,000.
And then before the month was up, because they'll tell you the month up, like mine's is October 27th, for instance. And so what I did is I paid majority off, $4,000. And they say you don't have to pay back for the rest of the year. So what I'm just gonna do is keep paying $10 in between, so it could pay off that remaining $1,000 off. What it did, it increased my credit score automatically by 14 points, just an FYI. And then what I also did is apply for a credit card. So I applied for the Navy credit card, and they gave me funding for the credit card as well as the loan amount. So what I did is just put in the pledge loan, and then I tried to apply for another one. The only reason they denied me is because they stated I haven't did enough transaction with Navy Federal, because I do all my transaction with Space Coast and Bank of America and other accounts. So the easiest way to explain: set up a Navy Federal account if you don't have one. You go ahead, wait a couple of 30 days, show transaction that you're doing, then ask for a pledge loan. You apply for the pledge loan, they're gonna ask you what you're doing the pledge loan for. You just say, I'm just trying to build my credit, and they'll give it to you. They'll give you approval within the 24 hours. Then once you have that, then they'll give you a date when it's supposed to be paid every month. Pay majority of it off. Once you pay it off, it's gonna increase your score up. Like I told you, it increased my score up by 14 points. And then once you close it out, you could go do it again. With Navy Federal, depending on how many transactions, clear on the conversation, depending on how many transactions that you do, they'll allow you to do how many pledges that you want. So you can do 4 or 5. So let's just assume you got $20,000 on you. You can do 4 loans, put that on your credit, pay majority of them off. They're gonna ask you right before they even finish the whole thing, they're gonna say, do you want to put it back on your savings account, or do you want to leave it on the secure? I said, let me put it back on my savings account so I could be able to play around with the money and keep it moving. So you just do that. You do that for 3 months, your credit score will shoot up like a rocket. And then all you have to do is, while you're doing that, like she stated, dispute the credits while you're doing that. And then all you do is just keep applying for loans, and then you have credit. And then of course you go ask family members, hey, can I be on their credit card? And you do that for a year, make sure you have that history. Then you should easily be at 715, 725 within the 6 months to a year.
So you said go to Navy Federal.
I also want to say this. You already have a credit union. You do not have to only use Navy Federal. Navy Federal is good, but there are other options out there. So I would say to take that same flow that he's giving you, since you're already with a credit union, and find out if your credit union has a pledge loan.
Yeah,
Correct.
I was about to go with
Run the same play at multiple locations.
Okay, I was
Correct.
about to go with Navy Federal, but now that he's telling me again, you know what I mean, I'm gonna jump on them as well. So he said go to Navy Federal pledge loan and then get to ask for Navy Federal credit card.
You could just call them. You could just literally call them and say, hey, I want to do a pledge loan. I did it also with Bright Star Credit Union down in Miami.
Yeah.
I did it with Bright Star. Set up their account, of course, and then did a loan. Did it the exact way I need to get a pledge loan. Okay, and then they'll ask you what it's for. Then they'll set it up right then and there, and they'll do the exact same procedure. Do you want it in your savings account, or do you want to leave it in that pledge loan? Of course, I said savings account so I can keep doing it, keep recycling the process all over again. And then you just get the credit card. You even ask for a loan. Once you do that, they'll give you a loan. They'll give you 5, 10, depending on how much transactions you do. It's the same thing applies for credit. If you have a credit card, she might not recommend it, but you do everything through your credit card. And then you just pay it off before that 30 days, before the statement. Let me be clear. Before the statement. You can do the minimum due, but before that statement, you show that you pay either majority off or at least 10% of the whole thing off. And then once you do that, the credit score, like I said, will shoot to the roof. But go through that process, bro. Trust me when I tell you, it's very easy.
Appreciate that, Sam, for sure. So I pay the credit card on the date of, or before, or early. What's the best way for you professionals?
I'll give you an example, if you don't mind, Raquel.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
bro.
Credit card, the minimum due is due on the 21st. Let's just say the minimum due is on the 21st.
Yeah.
Usually, 95% of the time, I could really say 99. Usually the credit card is due, the statement prints 5 days after the minimum. Okay? So let's just say your minimum due is on the 21st. You count 5 days from that. That's when usually the statement prints. in order to report to the credit bureau. So all you do is just, if I'm giving you the example, let's say your credit card is due on the 21st, you count 5 days, that would be the 26th. So you know on the 25th, you gotta make sure you pay that balance off.
Gotcha.
So on the 26th, it'll report, and then 27th, you use that money all over again. Once it prints to the credit bureau, if you use Credit Karma, Credit Dino, whatever the other ones that you use, right? And then you just run through that, you recycle that whole process again. If you're doing business, same way. We're not talking about business now, but it's the exact same procedure. You do the whole thing with that. And then once you want to get to your business process, one gem right here, I didn't mean to talk about this, Raquel, don't beat me up. You go set up a Sam's Club account. Set up a Sam's Club account.
Now,
You don't have to use.
now, wait a minute now. So
My bad. I won't do this, Joe. My bad.
What you're not gonna do, I'm finna mute Sam, because Sam don't know how to act. Now, I need you to run the play that we done gave you today. Okay, I don't need Sam go ahead and tell you all this other stuff. First, let's get you together first, okay?
Sam, what's your number, bro?
Okay, send your pledge loan and get that
talking-
together first, okay? Because Sam finna get a whooping today on today. Listen now, I want to go to bed. I gotta be at Credit Con in the morning. I mean, Card Con in the morning. Y'all sitting here acting crazy. This was as long as you don't currently have any negative items reporting. All right. Anything else notated? But great. Let me tell you something. Sam, you need to come back because I love the engagement, honey. I love it. Okay, real quick. I want to show you guys the new flow of attacks. It was dropped in the chat. I want to pull it back. Give me 1 second, y'all.
I'm not seeing the chat box though.
You got to click the button. Did you click the button?
It was there before. I'm not seeing it anymore.
Am I on your phone or are you on your computer?
Yeah, I see. I got it. Thanks.
No problem, love. All right. So this is the new flow process. So again, this is specifically for Dispute Panda Pro and Credit Dino users. It's simultaneous, okay? If you do not have Dispute Panda Pro, you can still follow this flow, but I want to be transparent. You will not get any letters for the creditors. So if you look at the flow, it says Dispute Panda attack. You're going to do the Punch of Fury, Supreme Boosted. You're going to select the creditors because you have the Pro option. And the first round is going to be handwritten. It's going to go out first class. And here are all the secondary companies that you are also going to send information to. All right. So you want to make sure, sorry, guys, let me stop sharing. You want to make sure that you guys have this flow. If you're using Dispute Panda Pro, if you are not, the only difference is you will, if you do not have Dispute Panda Pro, you will not have the ability to send any letters to creditors. So all of your letters will generate, it will only go to the credit bureaus. You can still use the static attacks in the flow the way that it has notated. I just want to make it like, be honest and transparent about that, right? So in this particular case, we've already saved the rounds. We're now at the attack. If you are not doing the first round because you do not have Pro, you're like, I'm gonna stick to an oldie but a goodie. Again, red flow or blue flow. Either one of them works well for you. Since we do not have a Pro feature today, we're only using the standard Dispute Panda. I'm going to use the option of the red flow for the client. The red flow, the very first one is Pinwheel Super Boosted. That goes out as a certified mail. And that is the option that I'm going to select for my client. So I'm going to go down here. Hold on. And I'm going to click Pinwheel. I'm going to hit Super Boosted. It's telling me that there's only 7 accounts that's going to be on each letter with a max of 10 inquiries. So if you're doing your own profile, and you have more than 10 inquiries, you have more than 7 inquiries, you are going to know that there's going to be more options that you're going to have to go ahead and select. When you do the next round, you're going to have to tackle the next 10, the next 10, so on, because it's only going to print 10 at a time per letter, okay? If you have, as you can see, the handwriting option is here, so you can select it. If you have the Pro, it will automatically generate letters for the creditors for you, all right? That is something that I wanted to show, but also when we were talking about the stall letters, remember static letters are free as long as you have money in your bucket. When you go in here, when we were talking stall, let's say you already sent your first round. Your first round was the Pinwheel, Experian, Equifax, or whoever sent a letter and said, no, we're not validating this for you because we need to verify that you're not a third-party company. You would come here because there's nothing in the laws that says you cannot have a person support you with credit repair. Okay, so you'd come here, you'd select this option. You will fill out the day you printed the original letter that you were disputing, okay? If you have the pro option, you can re-add the letter back into the software. It will print the stall letter along with the letter that you uploaded, okay? So if you have it in your computer already, you just drop it for the credit bureau that it applies to, and that stall letter will print out with the actual round that you sent out. If you do it and you're having the system mail it, it will also have that information via the mail as well, okay? But that's how you would go about it when it comes to the stall option. But we're going to do the Pinwheel. We're going to do the super boosted. We're going to hit start, and then we're going to type confirm. You have now started the process for your first round of disputes. And now the letter is going to generate for you. If you had the option of pro and you collected and you selected to do the letters for the creditor, it would have attack round 1, and then it will have an option for the creditors. That will be in the next tab. If you are doing this option and you're having the static letter, you will actually have the different buttons on each end, okay? If you are mailing it out, you would select mail. This first round is supposed to go out certified. It is also supposed to be singled. And I'm gonna go back because I don't have a good memory because I'm 42, y'all, okay? Single-sided color is yes. So you would go here and change the color to yes. It will then calculate the option for you. As you can see how it changed, right? So if I was to do double-sided, it would change the pricing. If I change it from certified to first class, it changed the prices based on the amount of letters that have to be generated. So we know this letter is going to be 10 pages, this letter is 5 pages, the amounts shift and differ. It will automatically pull from what you have in your bucket to go ahead and support for your client. All right. So I wanted everyone to have the actual new flow. Like I said, it will be updated on the platform shortly. So you guys will be able to see it all beautified and whatnot. But I did want to give it to you guys tonight for those of you that may be in the pro journey. Okay. So you can click download. These tabs here, history shows what you've done for your client, what letters were downloaded, if the letters were mailed, the information, the tracking code will be here. If a certified letter was sent, right, you'd have a tracking code number. If it was just mailed out, you have a letter ID. If all you're doing is printing it yourself, it will just show download, okay? Any credit reports that you pull for the clients will be accessible for you to see here. And any credit scores, changes, updates, or whatever would also be under the history tab for that specific client. You also have the ability to see any invoice. And if you did something special, like for instance, you said, I did consumer reporting or consumer law letter for Capital One. If you have the pro version, you're able to put that in the notes and have it accessible for you, okay? So I want you guys to be able to leverage and utilize this on a whole in a real way. So if you guys were doing it with me, you have just completed your first round of attack in real time, okay? So super excited about that. I'm gonna open the floor up for any additional questions that anyone may have. Let me go through the tabs. We dropped the link.
Question.
Yeah, what questions you have, my love?
Yeah. So the pro. If I join the pro, which is now, y'all just installed it, right? Y'all installing it right now, right?
The pro's live. The pro's been live.
Oh, okay. All right. So I wasn't on it before. So when I go back on, I'm gonna go and do everything tonight. I just link the pro and the pro's gonna send all the letters for me and do everything.
So I want to make sure we're using the proper verbiage. Hold on. So look, I
Okay.
want to go back to the screen. Give me 1 second. So if you are on the dashboard and you're wanting to upgrade to pro, you would have to come here and click pro.
Okay, got you.
You'd have to update your services. It is $1 for 14 days. Then when you go into your actual file, hold on 1 second. When you go into your actual file and you're pulling your rounds, once you've updated, you'll be able to select the attack that you're looking for. So if you're using the new matrix flow, you'll select that attack, and then you'll be able to check this box for you to do pro only. Okay.
Generate
So
pro
you'll be able to check that box, right? And with the new pro flow, the very first letter is going to be in handwritten. So you do handwritten, you'll generate the creditor letter, and it will literally generate an attack over here. And the next option, the next box will say creditor. So you have access to both. Great question. Does that make sense since were able to see it?
Yeah, so I'm gonna do everything you just showed me just now for my, and that matrix flow, that matrix was on the side of, I think I seen it on the side with the 7. I just like real precision. I'm like real transparency. That's just me. I ask a lot of questions like all the time.
About the matrix flow, I want to make sure I understand.
You mentioned something about clicking on the matrix flow and then going to which attack, something like that you wanted to.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you are using the pro option,
Yeah,
we drop the actual attack flow in the chat. So you'd want to download that because it's not going to be available on the site until the end of this week. So it's only accessible right now there. Oh, wait, if you're in the community, it's also there. If not, you're going to pick one of the flows that are under the Dispute Panda training docs that are under the training tabs.
Okay.
Does that make sense? You have to pick a flow and go.
Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna just click on what I seen inside the chat, the Panda. I'm gonna click on that link right there, and then I could go from there, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for that.
My pleasure.
That's in the chat thing again. Where is it?
And then it says, okay, so the pro is a must for everything I'm trying to do. Okay, Bert, we'll pull on up to the pro, honey. Does it matter if the first round was a while ago, like 100 days ago? Still send the stall letter and start a new attack. So my recommendation, yes, if you are outside of a 60-day window of setting a route of attack, because you already received a stall, what I would personally do is generate the stall letter and send it with a new round. Because you already know that they're trying to phase you out. So just to be safe, send it out with a new round because you have such a gap. That old round that you did isn't really doing anything because it's outside of that 60-day window. You feel me? So that would definitely be my recommendation to Marco. I think I said that right, Marco. Really good information. I submitted my second rounds earlier today. I need to try the static letters. Child, send them static letters, honey. I'll be sending them off, boo. And I know that I want to say Miss Holmes, I don't know if she's here. I used to freeze the secondary bureaus as well. I no longer freeze them. But there's no harm if you do or you don't. I have a lot of clients that once they get to like a high score, they'll try to apply for stuff. So because I know that they have no patience, yeah, I don't play them games. I just go ahead and freeze for some of them, but I don't do that anymore. I used to do that in 2020, 2021. That was freezing was definitely my thing. So I saw her comment with that. Any other questions, guys, that you guys have before I give you back your nights? And King, thank you so much. I'm trying to give as much good information as I can. Nothing else? Oh, hold on. I got something in the chat. Hold on. Oh, it's my pleasure, Ray. I love when you come on. That's right. You get to give me all of New York because I'll be missing over there. All right. All right. It is my pleasure. Kayla, did you have any questions? You were just here all night. I appreciate you dipping in with me. Yes, New York, New York. I'll have to pull up. I met this amazing gentleman here. His name is Coach Akeem. I actually met him at Credit Con, and then he was here today, and I was able to stalk him a little bit. And he's from Queens, so you know I got all the New York energy. I was like, yes, come on. And then they served cannolis. I was like, my boy, I was feeling it. I'm sorry, y'all. I love food and I love people. So it was a win-win day for me. So other than that, I'm going to let you guys go. I want to say thank you so much for diving in, being a part of the team. If you guys want to send me any questions, connect with me at all, you can email me. I'm going to drop my email in the chat. It's support@evolvelifenow.com. I will make sure that when from now on, when I travel, I will have my booking link here so that I can drop it if anyone wants some one-on-one support outside of Monday, Wednesday. For those of you that are pro and in the CRBV class, I will see you guys tomorrow. I might be a little late. I might be driving. Don't judge my life. I'm gonna be there though. Okay, cool. Y'all can definitely email me. I respond. I'm out here in these streets. Please forgive me. Remember, I'm traveling back home tomorrow, so I will be able to like jump on quick calls. I'll probably do a couple lives and take some questions. So definitely make sure that if you guys have some and you want to talk and you want to dip and do, you guys connect with me in a real way. But other than that, I am going to give you guys the rest of your night. Remember that you guys are amazing. You are really being a beast in these credit streets. Yes, I'm Jamaican and I'm going to Jamaica in December. Okay, y'all might have to come with me, but I'll let you guys know. But other than that, thank you guys for being so amazing. David, as always, you are the best co-host. JM, the greatest moderator. Y'all have an amazing night and thank you guys for coming out. I'll see you guys on Monday. If you have additional questions, we start at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you guys are here or just wanting to come in at the Q&A normally starts about 9:30. Just in case you have questions, but you don't necessarily need to build out the platform, you guys can ride the wave at that time, all right? So other than that, thanks for being the best part of Dispute Panda, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.